Hello and welcome to another episode of Mark Fixes Stuff. Today we're going to be looking at this Cathay computer compatible cassette recorder from 1980, I don't know, but it's quite old. It's a bit grubby inside. It's got really good ports on the side, the DIN port for computer connection, ear and mic and a remote. So any old computers that are able to stop and play the tape at will actually be compatible with this. Volume. But the biggest problem this has is when you play a tape, particularly a computer tape I've used, instead of the header tone going beep, beep, it goes speeding up and slowing down. So it's a sure sign that the belt inside is slipping. So we're going to have a quick look at the belt and see if we need to order a new one, or if we can get away with a side swap, which is where you take the belt, if it's a flat belt, and you turn it around, give it a clean, and if it's still got enough elasticity in it, you can get away with that for quite a while. The reason for that is sometimes over time a layer of grunge in the general atmosphere builds up on the belt, and when you press play after a few years, it slips. So we'll have a look. I'll tell you the best things for cleaning belts as well. It's not isopropyl alcohol. So without further ado, let's whip this sucker open. So we've got a couple of screws, one there, the others are probably in here. Yes, bingo. Oh, bit of rust down there as well. I got this tape player in a lot from Matt Marr with some Spectrum Plus 3 stuff, so thank you, Matt. I don't think that is rust actually. I think that's old, yeah, it's old glue, it's rubbery. Okay, so we won't worry too much about that. First thing to do is take the screws out, keeping in mind where they are and where they come from. Obviously that's a plastic screw. Might do a video on the difference between screws for plastic and screws for metal, because it appears that not everybody understands what a plastic screw is. Well, that's my terminology, it probably has a special name. Number 2. Out there, battery compartment screw. When you're taking this old stuff apart, because the price of electronics was much higher back then, you'll often find that there's different length screws everywhere. They could hold bigger inventories when they were making things because they had more profit margin to play with. And look, that's longer. That's a longer screw there. So the ones at the front, or at least that one, is longer. Yeah, again, that's longer. So the 2 at the front are longer screws. So, oh, come on, got that one out. So I put the screws to one side. I'll pop them over there. Slightly out of camera shot actually, but yeah, look, you can see the difference in the size there. I'll just pop those off of the mat. 2 short ones again in the battery compartments that come apart already. So we'll flip this over. Now, always take these things apart with a modicum of care, because there's usually a speaker which is glued in here, and things like the tape counter. The gubbins inside here will be adhered to the underside of the case. So, right, okay. So we can see that that panel for the controls is separate. And let's just have a quick looky-loo inside. Okay, this is going to be easier to do it the other way up, I think. Down there. Usually I would put a bit of kitchen towel underneath to stop this getting scratched, but I'm using a special mat here, a low abrasion mat for electronics work. It's also heat proof as well. Okay, so let's put that to one side. You can see the speaker, this board which will be screwed in one or more places, and a belt which you can never tell by turning whether they slip or not. But you can see it's pretty grungy actually. Let me just see if I can zoom in on that a bit. I'll probably over focus. Right, so yeah, fairly grungy belt on a Mitsumi motor. Mitsumi motors are awesome, by the way. They I'll have a look. Just point this out here. Some grungy build up, and that's probably just through time and age. The inside of this belt as well, I don't know if you can see there, see if I can zoom in a bit closer, but the inside of this wheel has got a line around it. Now that leads me to believe that there is going to be a drive wheel for the gears in there, which has a bevel on it, and that bevel usually means that after a while this builds up and causes problems. Yeah, I don't know if you probably can't even see that, to be honest, but my little things, there's a clear line which I don't know if you can see. Maybe let me see if I can put more light in the situation. Yeah, there we go. So there is a clear line down the middle there, and that will be why it's slipping, because it's built up of crap basically. What we're going to do, we're going to clean this band, and we are also going to clean the heads as well, because with that crap going on there'll be loads of crap going on. Okay, I'll leave that direct light. You've got quite a lot of shadow there, but doesn't matter, does it? What do they say? We've got one screw here. I usually bounce the lights off the ceiling so that you get softer shadows, and bear in mind that this screw that I'm taking out here has got a washer on it, which means it's connected to the ground plane, so you don't want to get those the wrong way round, otherwise you won't have this grounded to the chassis. Okay, so this won't come off very far, I don't think. No, okay, yeah, we can see more of the problem in there. Good. So what we're going to do is we are going to clean these wheels with this in situ. Now, lots of people will tell you, use a little wedge that up, bit of my child's robot. Lots of people will tell you that the best thing to clean rubber bands with is isopropyl alcohol, or some really stupid people will tell you to use nail varnish remover, which is an acetone. You do not want to use isopropyl alcohol on any rubber or plastic if you can help it, because whilst it initially feels like it's working, what's actually happening is it's eating the softeners out of the rubber and making it tacky. Okay, when it's finished eating that, it will actually then just dry up the rubber, it will crack and break. So don't use isopropyl alcohol. Best thing to use on rubber is window cleaner. This is generic brand Mr. Muscle, Windex in the US. You can use blue or green. This one has vinegar, which I find works better, even though it stinks. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some Windex, man. Get cotton bud or Q-tip if you're in the States, and we're just going to clean the inside of this belt. Okay, just using the actual mechanism as is to go around and take that off. And because this is really quite a gentle cleaning solution, it's not eating up all the rubber, which is good. Now sometimes cleaning these will be enough to get them working again, but I'm going to show you another technique that I use, which is quite handy, and has worked on quite a few things like disk drives for me in the past, from when I was working as an engineer in a duplication plant, because the problem back then was you never had parts. You never ever had the parts, and you always had to get the shift back on track. So cleaning that off, just turn it with my thumb. This light's a bit warm. Whew. Okay, so we can see the amount of shite that has come off of there. Okay, pull that up so you can see. Right, so that's quite clean now. We're going to let that dry. Okay, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, now I've let that dry, I can move the mechanism again. I'm going to have a quick clean of the wheels. Okay, so I'm just using a dry cotton bud on this to see what the extent of the gunge build up on this wheel is. Just turn that around like that. All the time being wary not to stretch the band itself, because you stretch the band, it's game over. Okay. Okay, yeah, so look, anything like that is actually going to stop you getting a decent contact on the belt. It feels like it's moving better already. Okay. Now, the other trick that you can use is you take the belt off like this. Okay. you turn it around, like you turn it inside out. I need a screwdriver for this bit because these little buggers like to pop underneath. This only works with belts that aren't shaped or V-grooved or things like that. If it's a plain flat belt, you can see the wear on the belt there, look. But on the other side, no wear. So, okay, we want the worn side outwards. Okay. Take it around the biggest wheel first. So this can be a bit fiddly. And then pop it back on the wheel there. Ah, I missed it. Bugger. Have another go. Nothing like failing on camera, is there? So I'm getting nervous now. You're making me nervous because you're watching. Right. Put the little camera out like this. Try not to stretch it, obviously. Get around this big wheel. I have to give it another clean now after this. Okay. Right, that's the one. Get it around the big one, which doesn't actually have a lip on, so it's a little bit more complicated than popping it on inside there. Okay, got that. Now a bit of tension on it, and the gits come off again. Okay, use a little screwdriver to hook it on this way. I might just cut in a minute and do it off camera. Okay. This isn't actually a difficult thing to do. It's just difficult when you're trying to do it around a camera, on a tripod, in a kitchen, with everyone watching. So, there. Right, got that one there. That one there. I keep slipping underneath. Okay. Use the little screwdriver here. Ah, give up. Hooray! Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's sort of feed that up a little bit so it's on the wheel properly in the middle, roughly. As long as it's on, and just run it like that. Okay. Huzzah! Apologies for the delay, that's usually a lot easier. I'm going to give that another clean with a clean cotton bud. Some more solution up the box. The bottle, not the box. I have cleaned this wheel, by the way, as well, so just so you know. Look at that crap on there, look. And yes, this is all the stuff that's making it slip. The band is actually in quite good shape, believe it or not. Just run the belt past that. You can tell when it's done because it's wet. There we go, look, more crud. Now if you were using IPA, you'd find that this dark stuff would keep coming off and you're thinking, God, this is dirty, this is really dirty. And the reason is that you're actually taking the surface of the black rubber off. So what don't we use, kids? IPA, isopropyl alcohol, on rubber, ever, like ever. Okay, so that's going to be clean enough for me and good enough for Jazz. Good. So that's on. That's on, that's on. We're going to put this back together now. So, move this back in. I'm just going to swap those lights back, so bear with me 1 second. Okay, we're back. I'm going to pop this board on. I had to move those lights because they were roasting me. They're sodium lights. So, these two screws that go into the board are the same, except this one here has a spring washer, spring-loaded washer, which is basically a split circle which is like twisted out so that you can get some actual contact. Even over time, if it wears loose, sorry, if it works loose, then it will still make contact with the solder. I'm just lining this up underneath. Be gentle not to disturb any of the missed the hole. Disturb any of the electronics underneath. Oh, it's been a bugger, this thing. I thought this would be easy, you know. Thought this would be a 5-minute video. Right, I'll line the hole up through the hole. Put the metal screw into the hole. It puts the lotion in the basket. Line this bit up here. When you're doing this on a tape cassette player recorder, it's always best not to disturb any of the wiring if you can help it, because it's often solder tagged on, especially the older gear, because it wasn't really made to be worked on. So there we go, the belt's still on, lovely stuff. I suspect that this will play evenly now, but there are some other things that we're going to need to look at, so we'll flip this over. Oh, that panel. That panel though. Where does that go in? Oh, it's got a handle thing which needs to be pulled out. You tell I haven't practiced this one. I think that slots in actually. Do you slot in? It would appear you do. And then we'll sort of hook it down and through. Yeah, there we go. Hook it down and through. Other side doesn't want to close. That's because the stupid handle things come out. Cut. Only joking. Right, one more go. Into there. God, I'm butchering everything today. Okay, that goes through into there. The handle, this is the handle that's causing the problems. Handle, tempted to leave the handle out, but I'd get 1,000 thumbs down on YouTube. Right, so the handle needs to be there. Okay, stay there, handle. The panel needs to be back in here. Good. And these controls need to poke through. This is on an angle, and then I'll push the other side down. Let's see. That side's good. Is this side good? Let's see. Handle's good. Yeah, that's it. Just need screwing down now. Look. You can see everything. Panel's lined up. There's quite a lot of wear and tear on that port actually. Okay, let's screw the bugger back together. Now, if you remember, we had different length screws at the battery compartment end. So let's pop those in. These are plastic screws again. The ones that we screwed the board down earlier were metal screws. They screwed into metal, so they had a flat end, whereas these ones have a pointed end. Oh, sorry. Hit the tripod then. Lots of people don't appreciate when you're making a video, you're working around a tripod. So although it looks like you're looking from my point of view, there's a whole camera gubbins up here over from one side on a boom. So I'm working under it and around a tripod in the middle. So look. Yes. Try not to whack into it all the time because you get massive camera shake obviously. The longer screws on this go to the front. Now this is a general repair guide for general cassettes. You'll usually find in machines like this they are a belt drive. It would be very expensive to make a geared driven cassette player, and it's not usually a square belt like an elastic band because there's not enough surface contact on a square belt. So we go all screwed in nicely. Handle's working. Good. Now, what do we do next? Well, first off, before we waste any more time on this unit, let's put a tape in and play it. I'll turn it sideways so you can see. For this, we're going to use Steve Davis snooker for the Amstrad CPC 464. I've got a couple of these, so I'm not saying I'm sacrificing this, but if needs must, then needs will. Just going to go and get a figure of 8 cable. Bear with me. Okay, so I've got a figure of 8 cable. I'm going to pop it into the AC in here. So the first thing you should always do is check the motion. So it seems to be going round. Not always a good indicator that it's working, because sometimes when there's a bit of a load, like weight on it, that's when it slips. Forward is working. Rewind's working. It's driving the tape counter. Didn't clean the tape counter band. They're often driven by a smaller band. I often don't worry too much about those, to be honest, because I'm lazy. So let's pop this in, see if it rewinds. It does. Okay, good. And let's play. Hope this doesn't eat the tape. There's always a possibility. Turn the volume up so you can hear. We're listening for a clear, even tone. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, there's no flutter or wow. No. So that is actually going to work now. Could probably do a bit of an azimuth adjustment. Let's just stop that. Just doing my head in. Probably do an azimuth adjustment, so I'll probably run through that as well. On most cassettes, you can remove the door fairly easily. Not so on things like the CPC 464 or the Spectrum Plus 2 models, but this one you can probably do by pushing these in. Ah, look, straight out, like a glove. Makes it easier for cleaning. And have a look in here at how disgusting the heads are. Okay, that is pretty gross. You can sort of hoover this stuff out, but you get loads of people complaining, oh, static, you're building static up. Just play. Yeah, that's absolutely filthy. Look at that there. That wheel. Again, I'm going to put the scrutiny of the lights straight on it. I'll turn it around the other way maybe, so you can see a little clearer. Working around the tripod again here. Yeah, look how disgusting that is. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to unplug this now. Sorry about the incredibly bright light, but I want you to see everything that's going on. Now I'm going to use cotton bud to clean that up a bit. I'm going to use the old one because it's pretty manky already. I'm not worrying about getting this pristine in here. I just want to pick out all the fluff and crap. And look at that shite. Because you don't want that ended up inside your cassettes, for want of a better reason. Pinch roller, spindle, look more, yuck, ew, disgusting. You see that? Right. Yeah, again, you don't want that inside your cassettes. So I'm using this a bit like a broom, really. Try not to wipe any grease off of these spindles, not that there's much going on there. Okay, crud in there as well. Crud in the bits on the side. Not too worried about this at the side, so this is just sort of cosmetic. We'll give this a proper clean later. With these, I very rarely take the cases off to, I should do it before and after on that really. Might do it before and after later. I very rarely take the cases off to wash because there's lots of stuff glued in and all sorts of crap. Now, we're going to clean the rubbers first, okay? Yuck, 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 yuck. We're going to clean the rubbers first because if your pinch roller isn't working properly, it's not going to take up the tape properly and you're going to end up with your tape all spooled out inside. So what do we use on rubber? Do we use isopropyl alcohol? No. We use Windoline, Windex, Mr. Muscle, Shift Shields and Shines in Seconds or something. So we'll dip that in there. And now I will show you the wonders of Windoline. We'll rub up and down here for a moment. And you can see, look, that is just taking the iron oxide deposit off. It's not taking the rubber off. It does require a bit more elbow grease, but we're here to repair things and not basically send them to their grave. Well, that does happen occasionally, I'll admit. I'm going to plug this in and let the motor help me out here. So, play. This is a bit too dirty for even a head cassette cleaner, by the way. So, you can probably see the zoom in a bit. You can probably see that the pinch roller is getting a bit dirty as well. Yuck, yuck. That's really dirty. Play. Now a lot of people will be going, oh, I use isopropyl alcohol and I've never had a problem. Well, science is all I say to that. Just because science. Ew. Okay, sometimes it's so dirty, all you can do is work around it in sections. What you want is to get back to the black rubber, really. Because all that stuff there is basically drop out off of tape. So this had quite a heavy service life, this unit, in the past, it would look like. And you're always going to have a little bit of wear on there, so don't worry too much about getting it perfect. But you really do need to get the majority of this crap off. Okay, it's still coming off there. Okay, I'm going to cut now and clean this a bit more, and I'll come back to you in a moment for cleaning the head. Okay, so about 5 or 6 minutes of cleaning that, and it's all come off, you know, and it was a bit of elbow grease rather than, you know, chemicals, but let that dry off now. You still see a bit of crud on top of the wheel. Not really able to get to that too effectively. But I think I might have to leave that bit because I don't want to have to go too crazy on the mechanism. Right, so let's just try this way actually. Just because it's annoying me more than anything else. Yeah, that looks better. You can see there's still a mark around. Actually, let's have a go at that. Make sure I've got that clean. The clean bit of the cotton bud. I was going to say there's still a mark around the bottom there. Just get out of the way. Ah, rats. Come on again. Just get a clean cotton bud, go around the top here. Doesn't matter if things gather up around the pinch roller because you can just slide them off in a second, which we will do. Candy floss machine miniature. Okay, so happy with the pinch roller, very important part of the machine. Okay, so we're going back to our friend here, window cleaner, because we are going to clean the recorder raise head. Okay, now the recorder raise head is back here. We can see that this had quite a heavy life as well. Now I like to use this first, the window cleaner, because I don't like to put IPA on the plastics. And see what you get off of it, and you can see there's some build up of oxidization there. And yeah, I can see the oxidization build up there actually. It's come off of that, where the light's a bit bright there. With the dry end, I'm going to dry that off because window cleaner is actually water based, so you don't really want to leave that too much. Again, a load more crap's come off. And now with a completely clean cotton bud, no, I'll try picking up a clean one, we are going to switch fluids from window cleaner to isopropyl alcohol, and we're just going to have a very quick wipe over of the center of the record head. Yeah, a little tiny bit more came off, and then we're going to dry that quickly because you don't want IPA with plastics. Look, see how much stuff's come off of there, loads. Okay. Camera zebra striping like crazy, so I doubt you're going to be able to see that. I'll rearrange this so you can see the... Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more now. That's pretty much the focus limit. See if you can see the record head here. Sorry, the play head. On the top of it. IPA, we're okay with this because it's metal. And yeah, very dirty again. Quite a lot of wear on it as well. Can you replace the play and record heads? You can, yes, but it's very expensive and you can only get parts for really top end machines, so it's often easier to just get a new machine. And new machines are still being made by Philips. I have one myself. So good. So mechanism, whilst not perfect, now is at least presentable and it's not going to kill anything off. Final check on the pinch roller to make sure it's not. Now, what I'm going to tell you about now is a little known thing from back in the day called azimuth adjustment. So I'm just going to come back out there. Now, azimuth adjustment is the angle. Actually, this will make more sense if I do it this way. Just going to put that light back up like that so that I'm not cooking. Is the angle of the head to the recorded tape. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to see in here, but there's usually a screw. So I'm heating the crap out of it. You can almost see it there. Can't actually get any closer because of the tripod, but if I get my screwdriver and look here, there's a hole. When the tape's playing, you'll be able to put the screwdriver through the hole. Is that the right screwdriver? No, that one's too big. Hang on, it's the orange tip one I want. Screwdriver through the hole. This is flat end. I mean, it's usually best to use a posi tip, but this will fit. And there's usually some sort of like, I don't know if you can see that screw going round at all. This is very difficult, sorry. And you can see the tape head going up and down on an angle. It's spring loaded. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our tape back in and we're going to play that because it's a known good tape and get the sharpest, crispest leader tone. So stop, tape out. Volume up. Is that down? I don't know. Volume up. Yeah, up. Play. This will take a few attempts. I'm not going to go into head demagnetizing here. It's best to soften it off first. Yeah, that's crisper. Wait for it to start again. Don't put any pressure on the screw. And play that. Gone past it now, it's dulling off. Coming back. Right, I think that's about it. The proof in the pudding is in the loading though. That's actually really quite sharp now. We've cleaned the head, it's not fluttering and wowing. This machine will load games on your computer. So, let's stop that awful row. Okay, pop the tape out. Cleaned up a bit inside there, obviously. Cleaned all the heads and all that good stuff. We've cleaned the band inside so it drives evenly. We've cleaned the record head, the play head, and the pinch roller. Now all that remains is to put the cover back on, maybe give it a bit of a polish up afterwards. I don't know if I can be bothered, to be honest. And put the battery compartment back in. And this, my friends, will load some games. So, thank you for bearing with me. It's a bit dirty there. Thanks for bearing with me. Hope this helps someone out there restoring their own computer cassette recorder. But for now, this is Mark from Mark Fixes Stuff signing out and saying subscribe to get your fix. Bye.